Wow. Lucas stole out them pint bottles out Granny crib. I poured so much I ain't want to live. Told money then, shit, we in the wind. I was in the hood when I clipped the bin. Since a young nigga, I've been ready. Went glass house on every Chevy. In this game, I tried plenty settings. It's all or nothing. How niggas been. Got sucker niggas, keep suckers with them. One of the reasons I ain't fucking with them. Trish Tech and some more than her. Yeah, she couldn't even afford a winner. I'm open late, don't need a scale, and it's always over. Sneak wishing well, I double down, slick shit to spell. Shawty know I don't kiss and tell. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. And I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game, and when I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins, and they say time heal. Mine still feel like it was yesterday. I was moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spent the night, she pack a bag right to me, just getting gas. Cover bag, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first. Eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game, and when I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins, and they say time heal. Mine still feel like it was yesterday. I was moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spent the night, she pack a bag right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first. Eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. What we doing, Chad? What we doing this morning, Chad? Double tap the screen, shut alive out.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube. Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh man!
That they were going to test
Double tap the
the
screen,
alien
shut alive
craft
out.
that night.
Why the hell is there an ad right there, big brother? Double tap the screen, shut alive out, Chad. We finna get straight into it, man. We finna get straight into it. Let me get us to the ad-free version, man. Hold on, Chad. Let me get us to the damn ad-free version, Chad. I was gonna come live at like 2, 3 this morning with this man that got me up in the Discord, but
opportunity for the Iranian people now to rise up, as the president has asked for, as the president has said and promised that he's got their back. No other administration has actually carried through on that promise. So now is an opportunity for the Iranian people, for the leadership and the folks within Iran, even the diaspora outside, or the Iranian American community, Iranians in Europe. They have a great a large number of wealth and capabilities and resources that they can reinvest in Iran. Just now.
What we're going to do right now is share with you some comments here from President Trump. This is the last we have heard from the president as he issued this video overnight. And we did want to share it with you here if you are just tuning in on Live Now from Fox.
Short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group.
So, Chad, the imminent threats from the Iranian regime that he's speaking of, that's what they're going to use as a basis to not needing congressional power. So if the threat is imminent, the Trump's going to use that to say, hey, look, I don't need Congress's authority because we have an imminent threat.
Of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died.
So Trump's going back, giving a history. He's saying this has been going on for about 47 years. Chat, I need everybody to hit the like button. As soon as you come in, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, chat.
Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels in
What's up,
international
Malcolm?
shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, that launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel, slaughtering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was...
Yeah, I've heard Bibi's fleet. I heard they done a strike directly on where the Ayatollah is supposed to be. They said the Ayatollah's residence or something is supposed to be leveled, but they're saying the Ayatollah is more than likely underground. So they're saying the Ayatollah is underground. They're saying Netanyahu's getting out of the area. We're going to see what's going on, chat. I do have a few questions that they asked me in the Discord, a few great questions, which were what did the administration tell us about Iran 1 year ago, intelligence-wise, and their nuclear capabilities? So, Drip, I seen that you asked that, and I did a little research, and it's saying that basically Iran wasn't trying to give it up. They weren't trying to give it up. It says the Ayatollah had not reauthorized the nuclear weapons program suspended in 2003. The assessment was noted as an erosion of the long-standing taboo on public discussion of the nuclear weapons in Iran, but no key nuclear weapon development activities were underway to produce a testable device. Regarding the missile capabilities, DIA report in 2025 estimated that Iran could develop an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of reaching the U.S. by 2035 based on its space launch vehicle program. Trump administration claimed Iran was close to developing missiles that could hit the U.S., a statement that sources says was unsupported, man. So this is what's going on. We've been having those the diplomatic talks going on. Iran has been rebuilding aspects of its nuclear program of ballistic missile capabilities following the U.S. strikes in June 2025, which damaged but did not fully destroy core nuclear components, setting the program back by months. So we heard Trump and, the administration come back and said they set Iran back by 20 years. But according to, the reports, they only set them back by a few months. It says diplomatic talks in 2025 to 2026 aimed at a new nuclear deal. It failed, with Iran rejecting the demands to destroy the facilities and commit to zero enrichment. So now here we are, man. Now here we are.
Brutal. Something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror and just recently killed tens of
Tony, we've been
thousands of
live
its
10
own
minutes.
citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the United States, in particular, my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June,
So I'm trying to figure out what was the imminent threat. What was the imminent threat that gave them the approval to bypass Congress? Are they saying it was the missiles? Because I'm reading and it's saying it might not have been ready by 2035. Or was it that they were going to get to a point to where they had the information they needed? Because actually having something and having the information to get something and having the information plus the equipment to have something, those are all three different things. So one of them had to be stopped by this. One of them had to be stopped by this. Shit is crazy.
we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordo, Natanz,
Oh, not sponsored, man. This is a Wild Cherry Pepsi, man. Not sponsored.
and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons, and we sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They did.
So this is why I think that they were trying to make sure that they had the technology or the capabilities, because they wanted to make a deal, then they didn't want to make a deal, then they wanted to make a deal, then they didn't want to make a deal. It's about buying time at this point. Maybe they were right there on a damn breakthrough and they couldn't give up the research and development at that time. Maybe if they made it to a point, a stopping point, like, hey, we got all of this down now, we can pull back and try to start it up some other time. I don't think they had reached that point yet. Maybe they were almost at a critical point of some information that they needed and did not want to give it up. So that's where the back and forth goes.
Didn't
and
want to
leads us
do
here
it. They
to
didn't
today.
know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They've rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore.
Sherman, you said they don't negotiate with terrorists. I beg to differ. I think they negotiate with terrorists every day, all day. I think a lot of these countries and these governments that we see, they definitely negotiate with terrorists. I don't know why we even put that shit out there. Oh, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Where?
Instead, they attempted to rebuild their nuclear program and to continue developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our very good friends and allies in Europe, our troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver their message. For these reasons, the United States military is...
If they don't negotiate with terrorists, I don't know how. I'm not saying the Iranians are terrorists, but if our government doesn't negotiate with terrorists, how the fuck are we getting hostages back? That's what I want to know. Any government says they don't negotiate with terrorists, how the fuck are they getting hostages back? Some negotiation.
Undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their Navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies...
Man, now Trump, I'm gonna be honest. Are we running this back? Is this game too? Because I just heard this speech like June 2025. The shit was obliterated. Now here we are, not even a whole 12 months later, and it's like, damn, is this a pickup game? Are we running this shit back? What's going on, man?
Can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans.
And then I seen chat. Are y'all seeing they're trying to build that FIFA
FIFA training facility and stadium over there in Gaza, man. Listen, they're not bullshitting, bro. They're not bullshitting. They're trying to build a FIFA facility in Gaza, man. I don't even think they put a new hospital up or new anything else. They worried about this damn FIFA World Cup. It's crazy.
And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces. I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to its power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even so, and I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war, but we're doing this.
So he's not even fucking hiding it anymore. Like with the Maduro shit, it was a strike. With the other shit, it was a strike. Now he's just saying, hey, look, man, we're about to lose some Americans. That's part of war. How the fuck did we get here? How did we get here? Bulletproof. I'm just honestly asking, man. Like, it went from just strikes and strategic strikes. Now it's fucking full blown war. Sitting here just got up on the stage, said we finna lose some Americans.
Not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So
it's sounding like this. Trump's giving them an ultimatum, man. Either betray your country and die immediately, or just, hold the fuck out, man. It is what it is. Or if you don't betray your country and die immediately, then shit, you're gonna die on some other shit, man. That's a crazy statement, Chad. Imagine those police officers and guys just going to work to fucking pay bills and take care of kids and shit, man. He just heard from a Trump to put down your weapon, don't carry your ass to work, don't do none of that shit, man, or you gonna die. And now they know that if they don't go to work and they don't pick up their weapons, they're gonna die immediately. Talking about being in between a rock and a hard place, Chad. A rock and a hard place.
lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or
Thank you, True
you will
King.
face certain
True King
death.
says Trump, the Jewish
Finally,
president.
to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's.
That's Chad. Watch this man. Trump got it cracking, Chad. This is finna be World War III, bro. This might be the war to end all wars, man. Set our ass back as a humanity, man. I'm not lying, man.
Help,
it's crazy.
but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength.
It's crazy. Why did we wait till 32,000 Iranians died? Like 32 to 36,000 people was on the streets dead now.
And devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
All right,
And that was
bulletproof.
President Trump's video message that
Shit
we had
crazy.
gotten in the early hours here. And I also wanted to share this with you before our final break on Live Now.
Yeah, they said some hotels in Dubai have been struck as well. I got those videos. You said no one's coming to help Iran. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Iran got a lot of fucking people over there. I don't know if y'all realize how many fucking people Iran has over there, bro. Like, that's a lot of fucking people.
From Fox, from Trey Yingst saying large explosions over Tel Aviv, interceptions overhead as we heard those sirens going off. Continuing our coverage next on Live Now from Fox. Stay with us.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that little bouncy, jumpy music.
He encouraged them to rise up against Islamic leadership that has ruled the nation since 1979. Iran retaliated by firing missiles and drones towards Israel and U.S. military bases in the region.
What's up,
Some
Essence?
of the first strikes on Iran appeared to hit areas around the offices of the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and smoke could be seen rising from the capital as part of strikes that Iranian media said occurred.
We got to be all the way honest. If we know that they got underground tunnels and shit, man, the Ayatollah is nowhere near that residence, man. The Ayatollah is probably a mile and a half under the fucking ground, looking around, chilling, bro. Let's be honest, man. The Ayatollah is probably underground somewhere.
Nationwide, but it wasn't immediately clear whether the leader
What's
was
up,
in his
Lala?
offices when the attack occurred. Per the Associated Press, the Iranian foreign minister said that Khamenei and the president are alive, quote, as far as I know, and called the attack unprovoked, illegal, and absolutely illegitimate. In a video announcing the major combat operations, President Trump told Iranians that when we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will probably be your only chance for generations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, putting this post back up on your screen, echoing that goal, saying, quote, our joint operation.
So are they still trying to bring in that one guy that was doing all of the media runs? Y'all know the guy that was on CNN, Fox News, they said his family was in leadership and he had to go away, and now, you know, he's been doing it. Are they trying to put him back in power, Chad?
Will create the conditions for the brave Iranian people to take their fate into their own hands. He as well shared a video message to social media. Was not in English, but that is a direct quote. The strikes during the holy fasting month of Ramadan opened a new chapter here for U.S. intervention in Iran and marked the second time in 8 months that the Trump administration has used military force against the Islamic Republic. They also came weeks after the U.S. military operation that captured Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro. The targets included members of Iran's leadership. And that's according to a U.S. official. There was no immediate information on whether top officials had been killed. We also had reported earlier that these plans for the strike had been in the works for quite some time there as well. And this coming after those talks that we had seen occurring, those negotiations really were not coming to any sort of a conclusion. President Trump had given that 10 to 15.
So the negotiations were that they wanted Iran to give up enrichment. They wanted to give up the already enriched uranium, and they wanted them to give up the centrifuges. Y'all know what a centrifuge is? You know, I've dealt with them on the smaller levels. You know, they spin around and shit like that. So they wanted Iran to give up the centrifuges. Iran chose not to. They were willing to give up the enriched uranium and all of that, but they were not willing to give up the centrifuges. That's what leads me to believe while these negotiations were going on, they were trying to get to a stopping point to where, like, hey, we got this down pack. We got everything we need to know. We can pick this shit back up whenever the coast is clear. That's why they kept extending negotiations. They didn't want to give up the centrifuges. Centrifuge, y'all know I'm a little country. Y'all know what the hell I'm talking about.
15-day window for Iran to reach that deal, and we did not see that deal reached. Here's another live look that we do have coming in here. Of note, even if Iran's top leaders were to be killed, regime change is not guaranteed, and neither the U.S. nor Israel have articulated a vision for what new leadership would look like. We've also been hearing from several lawmakers across the aisle here, both sides of the aisle. Democrats speaking out against President Trump, saying that he had taken action without congressional authorization. We heard from Representative Hakeem Jeffries as well, saying that though Iran is a bad actor, the president must nonetheless seek authorization for the use of military force that constitutes an act of war. We also...
Well, I'm just going to be honest with you, Chad. Over the last year, Trump's been on some do what the hell I want to first, get congressional approval later, man. So Hakeem Jeffries, man, y'all working backwards, man. Y'all working in reverse, man. Now, the congressional approval probably is going to have to come anyway, man. This is what you call hit first, ask questions later type shit, man, going on. Because, and they're justifying it by using the language imminent threat. That's going to be a reoccurring theme. Imminent threat. When they say, why didn't he get congressional approval? They're going to say imminent threat. Imminent threat. Now, if we want to get down and break down this imminent threat and how imminent this threat actually was, we can.
So do you know the UN Security Council sharing that it will meet this afternoon? In a letter to the council, we did hear that they said all bases, facilities, and assets of the hostile forces in the region shall be regarded as legitimate military objectives. So that's going to happen a little bit later today. We just got that update in. Tensions have soared in recent weeks as American warships moved into that region. President Trump said he wanted a deal to constrain Iran's nuclear program at a moment when the country is struggling at home following those...
How long do executive orders last? Like 10 years normally? Aren't executive orders like 10 years? Let's see.
Nationwide protests. The immediate trigger for today's strikes appears to be the unsuccessful latest round of nuclear talks that I had just shared there. All right, so it looks like on your screen, this could be potentially another interception. Let's just turn up the sound here. Let's listen, and I'm going to work to get more information for you.
Yes, chat. Executive orders last 10 years. So they're about 10 years. When the executive order signed, it's good for 10 years. No, it's 10 years, chat. I just looked it up. It's 10 years. They can get rid of it immediately.
Live look there at
the incoming president can get rid of it immediately, but if they don't get rid of it immediately, it's in stone for 10 years. If they don't get rid of it, they do have an option to get rid of it, but without them doing anything, it'll just be lasting for 10 years.
This is out of Tel Aviv. We've been seeing interceptions there throughout the past hours here. Also, we did just get this posted here. I was sharing that the IDF did speak a short time ago. It was not in English, so we did not bring it to you. However, we did get this post to X saying shortly ago, alerts were activated in several areas across the country following the detection of missiles launched from Iran toward the country's territory. The public is requested to heed the instructions of the Homefront Command. At this hour, the Air Force is operating to intercept and strike in any location where required to remove the threat. The defense... one second. Let me just go back to this live look. Okay. All right. So we just missed it. We were seeing potentially some more strikes there. All right. Let me head back to this post here from the IDF. Apologies for cutting that off. I just wanted to get that feed up in case we were missing something. Concluding there, saying it is essential to continue heeding the instructions of the Homefront Command. So once again, that's the latest post here from the IDF. This live look that I was just sharing with you out of Tel Aviv, as we were seeing those interceptions, as well as the IDF now sharing here that alerts were activated in several areas across the country following the detection of those missiles from Iran. We also heard those sirens going off there as well on one of these live feeds that we were sharing here with you. Once again, this live feed coming in out of Israel there as well. We're going to step away for a commercial break on Live Now from Fox. Stay with us as our coverage continues.
All right, chat. Let me know. Do y'all support this? We're just gonna call it a war, man. It's not even just strikes anymore, man. It's back and forth going on. Trump just said be expected to lose some Americans, man. Do y'all support this war? Yes or no? I seen you said no congressional approval. Yeah, they're using the imminent threat as a reason to not seek congressional approval.
Next. I've been sharing, we have been getting several updates by the minute here. This one just coming in from Fox News saying that departure flights for U.S.
That's a good question, Lars. Lars says the U.S. is out of oil again. No. But this is pushing oil prices up. And if oil prices reach about $80 a barrel, Americans' gas is going to get to about $3 a damn gallon. Let's be all the way honest. They're saying that right now, let me pull up the numbers. Here it goes. Oil prices are already up 19% in 2026, around $73 a barrel, with a risk premium built in. A prolonged conflict could disrupt 20% of the global supply via the Strait of Hormuz, pushing prices to $100 a barrel and adding 0.6 to 0.7 to global inflation. Iranian retaliation has led to shipping suspension, heightened short-term spikes. U.S. gas prices could rise above $3 a gallon if oil hits $80. So if oil hits $100, chat, what the fuck do you think that means, man? It's gonna be like $4.50 gas out here, brother. Maybe not $4.50, but damn near $4 for sure.
Military members in Bahrain have been paused following missile attacks targeting the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet. Now, smoke was seen rising over Bahrain after the naval base was struck, though officials have not released details on the extent of damage or any casualties. But the Department of War had authorized voluntary departures for military dependents earlier today after the United States and Israel launched those strikes. An emergency alert sent to families allowed them to book flights on a first-come, first-served basis. However, by 2 p.m. local time, officials announced departure flights were on hold pending further notice and instructed personnel to continue sheltering. Explosions were heard across Bahrain as residents took cover, but it remains unclear what specific targets were hit. U.S. Central Command did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Fox News, but we did want to share that post.
This is the point problem I have with that statement you made, Jakia. You said we don't need Democrats' permission to run this country correctly. See, now when the shoe was on the other foot, you didn't feel that way. You didn't feel that when the Democrats didn't feel like they needed Republicans to approve, and the tide may turn. That's what we have democracy here for. That's why we have fucking checks and balances, man. What are we talking about, man? I don't want either side to run away unfucking touched or unchecked, man. It's gonna be bad for all of us, man. That's why we need checks and balances and shit, man. Sometimes I gotta check my homeboys. Sometimes I gotta check my brother and them. Sometimes they have to check me, get me back in line. They plug, you tripping. That's what we need this shit for.
Post here with you on Live Now from Fox, or that update rather. But I do also want to share this post, as I was just saying. This is from the IDF. We heard them speaking. They put out a video message, not in English, but we do know that shortly ago, alerts were activated in several areas across the country following the detection of missiles launched from Iran toward the country's territory. Now, in just about 20 minutes' time, we are going to have an expert joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We do want to get all of your questions answered. As I've said here earlier, my job as a journalist, our job here at Live Now from Fox, is to get your questions answered. So please write into us. And I am going to put up the QR code so you can do so.
To see peace and security.
Oh
and
shit, here goes Keir Starmer.
Security and stability.
The struggle against Iran's oppressive regime can.
Man, listen, I know Keir Starmer got a lot going on right now, bro. Keir Starmer's probably sweating bullets.
Canada reaffirms Israel's right to defend itself and to ensure the security of its people. So Carney posting that to social media as we're working to get that up for you here. Going on to say Canada supports the United States. All right, so we do have it. So let me put that up for you as I continue to read the latest. Thank you to my producer, Markima. Let's read that quote for you again, saying Canada stands with the Iranian people in their long and courageous struggle against Iran's.
Oh, with the Iranian people. I was finna say, I know Mark Carney didn't just do that, bro. I heard it a little too quick, Chad. I know Mark Carney didn't say that shit.
Oppressive regime. Canada reaffirms Israel's right to defend itself and to ensure the security of its people. Canada supports the United States acting to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon and to prevent its regime from further threatening international peace and security. Now, for those of you just tuning in here, we are getting these updates in rapidly. We are putting these up on your screen as we're seeing them for the first time. We have a whole team here working behind the scenes, working to get these reactions in here to you as we continue to learn this news as you do. We've heard from several lawmakers here today. We do know that House Speaker Mike Johnson was made aware that this was going to transpire. We are hearing from both Democrats and Republicans here as well this morning. As we continue to get these updates in, we will bring them to you. Now, as you can see, we do have a lot of people joining us. We have this viewer bug in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen that shows how many people are watching. And as people are waking up to this news, we do want to recap what we have gone through here.
Fox
I
got
do want to share this video
300,000 in
message
that
here
bad
from
boy.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. He
Shit.
spoke maybe just an hour or so ago at this point. For those of you who were not able to see this brief video message, I do want to share it with you now.
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability and for the fate of innocent people across the region, which for so many of us includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes.
Ain't in
But
it.
we have long been clear. The regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent. They have murdered thousands of their own people, brutally crushed dissent, and sought to destabilize the region. Even in the United Kingdom, the Iranian regime poses.
Not this time. Iran didn't send strikes first this time. Trump gave them a Friday deadline. I believe it was maybe a Sunday deadline. It was like a 2-week to 10-day deadline to put down the nuclear program, and they didn't do it. So Trump, it was supposed to happen Sunday night. They were thinking it was going to happen on Sunday night, but you know Trump likes the element of surprise, so it came a day and some hours early, man.
A direct threat to dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, they have
Chat, hit the
more
like
than
button.
20
Hit the like
potentially
button for
lethal
me, chat.
attacks on UK soil. So it is clear they must never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon.
Chat, we're 19 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Let's hit 43,400 subscribers, man. We go live every single day talking politics, entertainment, and current events, man. Subscribe to the channel. The like button is at the top left of your screen, or you can double tap it, man. Thank you
That
for your
remains
support.
the primary aim of the United Kingdom and our allies, including the US. I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region, many of which are not parties to this conflict. We extend our support and solidarity to them as part of our commitments to the security of our allies in the Middle East. We have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently strengthened. Our forces are active.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like kind of a catch-22 with you guys. You said if you knew anything about this conflict, you know it's worth the effort. It is America first. I thought America first was no new wars. I mean, I'm just saying. So is it supporting certain wars, America first, or in the Middle East? Or is it no new wars, man? Y'all gotta pick a fucking side with this shit, man. You gotta pick a fucking side with this shit. You wanna pick a side when it comes to Democrat and Republican and all of that shit, but when it comes to no new wars or picking and choosing wars, y'all have a fucking problem with that, man.
And British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people, our interests, and our allies, as Britain has done before, in line with international law. We've stepped up protections for British bases and personnel to their highest level. We are also reaching out to UK nationals in the region and doing everything we can to support them. I've been speaking with leaders today from the E3 and across the region. It is vital that we prevent further escalation and return to a diplomatic process. We want to see peace.
If it was about human life, they wouldn't have waited till 36,000 Iranians were slaughtered in the fucking street. It's not about human life, Katie. I'm sorry, Katie, to burst your bubble, but it's not, man. Shit's deeper than that, man. And we can break it down to what it's really all about, but it's not about left or right now, man. We feel like that as Americans, but when we see this shit going on, man, it's
and
shit is
security
crazy.
And the protection of civilian life.
For sure, it's not about human life, though, or they wouldn't have waited till 36,000 people were slaughtered in the streets. I'm just gonna put that out there, man. I mean, 36,000 people died, man. You told them that if they touched the air on him, he was gonna come kill them. A month and a half later, man, about 36,000 bodies. Some shit going on. Was it about the people? Was it about the human life? Or was it about some other shit?
Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes, give up their weapons programs, and cease the appalling violence and repression against the Iranian people, who deserve the right to determine their own future in line with our long-standing position. This is the route to de-escalation and back to the negotiating table. Thank you.
Well, y'all saying 36,000 a fake number. That's the number Bulletproof running with. That's the number Bulletproof running with. And then you said, I'll open up the phone lines later. Y'all can call in later, man. Keep arguing in the car. I ain't finna keep stopping this shit to argue with y'all.
And that was UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer as
Call
he
me in
issued
a
that
minute.
video message just a short time ago. As we are just taking a live look here out of Israel, we do know that Iran is launching retaliatory strikes across the Middle East. We've been listening in here, and there have been sirens going off throughout the morning here. Let's turn up the sound for just a moment and see if what we can hear.
Yes, Erica.
All right, so nothing at the moment, but there were sirens.
Yes, we are at war. U.S. and Israel launched strikes. Iran has struck back. They hit, I believe, a U.S. base, and they hit a hotel in Dubai. This is supposed to be ongoing. Trump said, get the hell out the way. Bombs are going to be going everywhere. They said they're telling Israel to brace for days of war. This is going to be a prolonged thing, man. I don't know how long it's gonna last, Chad. We'll let Ella or somebody who knows tact in this motherfucker call in and tell us how long this war will last from beginning to end.
That were going off there just moments ago as we were listening into that video message there from President Trump. Now, I do want to share this post here. This is also just coming in, and this is from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt just sharing this, saying President Trump monitored the situation overnight at Mar-a-Lago alongside members of his national security team. The president spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu by phone. Prior to the attacks, Secretary Rubio called all members of the Gang of Eight to provide congressional notification.
This is the thing. You said Iran is already a mess. Perhaps you should live there and see how great it is. Unreal. Supporting Iran is insane to me. I'm not supporting Iran. I just want to mind my fucking business. That's the difference. That's the difference, man. When it comes to that Middle East conflict, y'all want to know my thoughts and opinions on it. It's not our fucking business, man. Not my business, not y'all business. It's some shit that's been going on for some thousands of years, some shit that's probably going to keep going on until everything's just done. Man, until everything's done, this shit's gonna keep going on, man. All this conflict in the Middle East, man. Borders have changed. The people have taken on different names and shit, but it's the same things going on, man. These are holy wars, man. And as an American, I'm not even on the damn water, chat. I'm landlocked where I'm at. How the fuck is that my business over there, man? I'm landlocked, bruh. You talking about go to Iran and see how good it is. For what? For what? What am I gonna go over there for? Let's be honest, chat. What?
And he was able to reach and brief 7 of the 8 members. The president and his national security team will continue to closely monitor the situation throughout the day. So this is the first we're hearing from the White House this morning, besides that video that was posted by President Trump around 3 a.m. Eastern time. We are now learning from this post from Caroline Levitt that President Trump has been monitoring this situation from Mar-a-Lago there in Florida, alongside other members of his national security team.
What's up, Laurie?
So the president also speaking with Prime Minister Netanyahu by phone, which we did know prior. Prior to these attacks, Secretary Rubio calling all members of the Gang of 8 to provide congressional notification. That was also some information we got just a short time ago here. He was also able to reach and brief 7 of the 8 members. We do now know the president and his national security team continuing to monitor this throughout the day.
All right, Eric, it says Iran says it hit a U.S. base in Bahrain as it launches strikes across the region. Iran hit Israel and U.S. military bases in the Middle East. Iran hit empty U.S. base in Bahrain. Response is measured and proportionate.
We had been hearing in the early hours here that President Trump might speak from the White House. We do now know that is not set to happen here today. But we do see these statements from leaders popping up here with little to no notice. Keir Starmer had just popped up for us within the last hour there. So we did want to share those comments here as we are getting them in. We are going to have an expert join us in just a matter of moments. Once again, before we step away for a commercial break, would love to hear what your questions are about all of this. You can scan that QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen. What questions do you have about the...
I'm gonna be honest, man. Keir Starmer might have said something right there. Didn't he? Keir Starmer got up there and was like, look, man, hey, we wasn't involved. We don't really fuck with Iran and the Ayatollah and all of that, man. They need to leave, let their people free and shit. But just so y'all know, it ain't our fucking business, man. That's what Keir Starmer basically got up there and said, man. It's not our fucking business, bro.
U.S. strikes on Iran. We want to answer those questions here for you. We are going to step away for that commercial break on Live Now from Fox. Our coverage continues next. Discussions would continue.
Well, I think the president was very...
Hey, they got a powder cake filter on this man, don't they, Chad? It looked like he just left. Damn, boy. What? Man, Fox News know they fucking wrong having this filter on this man like that, man.
Clear from the beginning that he would continue to have talks as long as the Iranians were moving in the right direction and being honest brokers in their discussions.
Thank you,
it
Jersey.
was very clear early on they weren't. Just yesterday,
What's up,
Khomeini was out declaring death to America and death to Israel, and just saying that they would never give up nuclear enrichment. They would never give up their nuclear missile technology. There would always be a threat to Israel and the United States. At some point, you have to
hit the like
examine these negotiations.
Change. What would really have to take place?
Well, we certainly want the people to have a voice and to do something about this, right? As my old high school civics professor.
They want the people to have a voice and do something about this after they just let 36,000 people die over the last couple of weeks, 32,000, 10,000. Well, according to Trump, man, it's 30-some thousand, 32,000, 36,000. What the hell do you mean you want them to come out of 36,000 people later? We just supposedly stopped 800 people from being hung. We just let another 20, 25,000 people die and then tell them to come out and help. Now, I know this is a big country, Chad. It's a lot of motherfuckers over there. It's a lot of people over there, man. Sounds a little crazy, bro.
Professor, God rest his soul, as he used to always teach, whoever's got the guns has got the power. So that equation has to shift, right? And
This is what you're saying. You said, bro, look up Iran before the 1970s. That's how that country should really be. Know your country, know your history. What the fuck does that have to do with me? What the fuck does that have to do with me, you, Betsy Sue, Earl over there at the corner store, your lady pulling out what the fuck does that have to do with me? I don't know how Iran looked in the 70s, man. How many times do I gotta tell y'all this? Oh, don't be insensitive, plug. Don't be insensitive. Man, fuck that, man. That shit don't matter to me, man. Whether they out there wearing fucking starter jackets or they got they hooded capes on. I don't give a fuck. Shit don't bother me.
and you saw that
But I'm insensitive when I keep it real. I'm insensitive.
in the president's comments from last night when he warned IRGC officers that this is a great opportunity for you to lay down your guns and don't go out there and fight, because if you will be killed. So that still remains. It's the kind of swelling that we need from the people out in the streets to demand justice, to demand that change. We've seen this in other parts of the world. We saw this in the former Soviet bloc. We've seen this in many areas in the Gulf and in the Middle East and in Africa. Now it's Iran's turn. The people must do what they can to make sure that the regime is hunted down and does not survive. Once that occurs, then a transitionary government can help stabilize the country, allow the diaspora, Iranian exiles, resources, the rebuilding of Iran, and bringing it aligned with Western democracies.
And Rick, before our next question, I do just want to let people know who are just tuning in that we are not anticipating right now that we're going to hear from the White House. A press conference is not scheduled. So I just wanted to put that out there for those who are tuning in as we do share this next question, because we are awaiting for some answers there from the Trump administration about all of this. All we have was that video from President Trump posted earlier this morning. And one of those questions is, how long will this military action against the Iran regime last? All we know right now, Rick, is that this is anticipated to go on for several days.
I would, I think several days might be optimistic. Sadly, this is something that will probably take a number of weeks. A lot has to deal with taking over air superiority. I mean, we're talking about a nation of 90 million people, a large geographic space. There's plenty of capabilities that we may not even know about, right? So all that has to be factored in, and I think Americans need to. We've had some great success in most recent military activities. We saw that most recently in Venezuela with very little or no casualties whatsoever. That's that's a great emphasis on the American military might, but that's not a guarantee, sadly. And what that means is that there may be U.S. casualties, and we should reconcile. We need to come to terms with that, right? That is a real possibility. But I have complete faith in our military leaders that they're going to do everything they possibly can to protect the innocent people of Iran, do targeted strikes against the Iranian leadership, and also focus on preserving U.S. and allied lives.
As we wait more viewer questions, I did want to ask you this question. Satellite imagery reportedly showed new activity at previously bombed sites. The administration claiming Iran continued developing its nuclear program and may be pursuing missiles capable of reaching the United States. Based on what we know, that available intelligence, how credible is that claim?
Oh, it's extremely credible. It's extremely, extremely credible. I would argue that if it wasn't for the United States, and in particular the CIA, if it wasn't for us, Iran probably would have developed nuclear capabilities as early as maybe 20 years ago. But we've been fighting this battle for a very, very long time. And it's a battle that ultimately you have to reconcile this, right? We have to consider this. Nuclear technology, I mean, it's there, it's known. We're talking about technologies that were invented in the 1940s, right? We're talking about the same basic science that powers the sun. So So the science is out there, the technologies are out there, and we've been fighting, at every step, right, to keep them from advancing, keep them from taking that next step forward. You would assume that after so many years, they probably would have recognized and realized that.
So yeah, this shit's pre-war on drugs and everything. It's gonna be ongoing, Chad. We gonna hear about this shit, man, forever, man. 200 years from now, they still gonna be trying to stop Iran from getting damn nuclear weapons.
That Western powers were
Straight
not
up.
going to allow them to develop nuclear capabilities, but they did it. This is something that we've been focused on. Let me also add this too. If you notice, I found something interesting, and this was reported. I think it was on Fox News. Was that it was curious that the Israelis struck primarily leadership targets within Iran, right? We're talking about Khomeini. We're talking about the MOIS, and the IRGC, and other leadership targets. While the United States really went after nuclear and military targets, right? And missile building targets, and that is consistent. That is consistent with everything we've done for well over at least a couple decades now. Wherever we've identified that Iran was developing a capability that was a threat to the United States, we would take activities to eliminate that threat, to take out that facility, and so has Israel. So that equation has not changed. There's a lot of folks out there that I think are falsely claiming or falsely tweeting or on social media claiming that this is somehow illegal, or that somehow this is a violation of the U.S. Constitution, that only Congress can declare war. Well, none of that has happened, really. All we are doing is eliminating a current and existing threat, like we did last year, and like we've done for years before, and making sure that it doesn't come back again. Now, what is different this time around is that now we have a coalition of the willing. We have Arab states and we have Israel all lined up against Iran. And at this stage, they are not going to allow this Iranian regime to remain in power at the conclusion of these hostilities.
And Rick, you let me know if we have to let you go.
How long is that gonna take, though, Chad? How long is that gonna take, man? Yeah, I think the Ayatollah's in a motherfucking bunker somewhere looking around.
A missile fragment falling to the ground and exploding in Doha, the capital of Qatar. It's part of the retaliation from Iran after the U.S. and Israel launched a massive and ongoing military campaign.
Chad, listen. This is how you know a lot of these individuals that we're seeing are desensitized to this shit, bro. If I see some explosion and shit going on, big orange, black clouds and smoke and shit, man, I'm finna stop, bro. Like, I'm gonna keep going, chat. Like, we getting the fuck up out of there, bro. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know, chat. Like, I might turn back to the track star, chat. Like, real talk, man. Like, I'm talking about getting up out of there, chat. Like, up out of there. On my way, the fuck up out of there.
Across Iran.
Trying to get to the rural countryside or something, man.
U.S. embassies across the region are now telling Americans to shelter in place, and just in, the State Department is now urging all U.S. citizens in Lebanon to get out while commercial options are still available. Let's go live right now to CNN's Paula Hancock, who's joining us from Abu Dhabi. Paula, you and your teams are hearing new explosions where you are all the time, right?
Yes, Wolf, there was another wave of incoming missiles, or at least we heard the blasts of what we assume to be the interceptions by the defense here in the UAE. This has been happening for hours now, so we're certainly seeing no let-up in the retaliation from Iran. We've heard from the Ministry of Defense here in Abu Dhabi saying that they have been intercepting missiles. They also say that one person has been killed by falling debris after an interception. We've seen images of smoke near the Al Dhafra base here in Abu Dhabi as well. So potentially not all of those missiles were intercepted, but we're certainly seeing no let up in this.
Chat, I need y'all to hit the like button, man. Let's get the likes up, and we're 2 subscribers away from 43,400, man. Whoever's the 43,400 subscriber, let me know, and I'll give you a shout out.
Retaliation. We've seen it as well in Doha, in Qatar. They just
Thank you,
recently
Najee.
had another wave of incoming missiles. Officials there saying that they are intercepting them as they come in. There are shelter-in-place orders across the Gulf nations. Airspace has been closed. We know in Bahrain, where the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet is based, that they have been targeted as well. And the same in Kuwait. We have heard reports in Jordan as well. There is anger as well as concern amongst these Gulf nations that they have become targets themselves. Many of them had said to the United States they were unable to use their bases if they were going to strike Iran. They had said that their
It's okay, Ella. You don't have to like my take. That's the cool thing about this channel. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're far right, far left, far right, liberal, conservative, Marxist, fascist, or alien NPC. When I open up those phone lines, you can call in. When I do a panel, you can join the panel. When I jump in Discord and have debates, you can jump in Discord. We don't run from smoke, bro. We don't. It just is what it is. I don't care your religious beliefs. I don't care about any of that shit, man. I care about having a conversation. Honestly, man. Subscribe to the channel.
airspace must not be used as well, as they wanted to put some distance between themselves and what the US president was ultimately going to decide to do. We've heard statements, for example, from Saudi Arabia saying that they give the strongest condemnation of this blatant and cowardly Iranian attacks, also pointing out that there have been incoming into Riyadh and the eastern province. Qatar has called it a flagrant violation of its national sovereignty. The UAE condemning and denouncing this as well in the strongest terms, the blatant Iranian missile attacks. So there is concern in these Gulf nations who are unaccustomed to this level of
What's up,
intense missile attack. But there is also anger that they have found themselves on the receiving end of this as well. Remember back in June when the US and Israel carried out those strikes on the nuclear facilities in Iran, it was Qatar only that was targeted, and that one was fairly restrained. That is not the case now.
You think this is dramatically in the next few days and maybe next few weeks going to dramatically escalate this war?
I think it has a potential.
Chat, they calling this the war to end all wars over here. I'm assuming it's for this conflict. Y'all say this conflict has been going on for a long, long time. They're calling this one the last one, man. I don't know. Do with that what you may.
Of doing so, Wolf, and what you're seeing is a very large Iranian response, and I think it's going to be interesting to get the military assessment from places like CENTCOM to see if they had anticipated this kind of a reaction from the Iranians. They clearly anticipated some of that by evacuating some troops from some of these bases that you've mentioned in the Persian Gulf region, but I don't know if they've really anticipated the magnitude of this, because it looks like we're looking at several hundred, if not a series of 1,000 drones heading toward Israel, and potentially other targets as well. And if you add that, couple that with missiles that the Iranians still have, it could be a fairly substantial response. The question then would be, though, what kind of follow-up will the Iranians have?
How effective is that Iron Dome anti-missile system that Israel has over the whole country in dealing with a lot of drones coming in from Iran?
This is what the Iranians are trying to do, Wolf. The Iron Dome system was not built for drones. It does have some modifications that have been made to it to work on the drone problem, but the problem is that
So we can all be honest, chat. This is going to destabilize the region. I'm gonna read this right here. Potential outcomes include chaos if the regime falls, spillover into Iraq and Syria, heightened tensions with the Gulf allies, global reactions warn of a dangerous chain of reactions, and threats to civilian stability. And that's going to go into the markets and the economy as well. I don't know, chat. It might be fucked up, man. I'm just going to be all the way honest. It might be fucked up over here for a while.
With a swarm of...
And then don't forget, they're trying to build a new FIFA stadium in Gaza, man. Like, it's a lot going on right now. It's like they're blowing shit up. They're trying to rebuild. I don't know.
Drones. It's going to overwhelm most radars that are associated with the Iron Dome. And that's why not only do they have the Iron Dome, but the other elements of the Israeli air defense, air and missile defense systems like the Arrow system and David Sling, but also the Aegis systems that the U.S. Navy brings in. And those are sitting off the coast of Israel right now, and they are supposed to help with this. Let's see how effective they are this time. They were highly effective in June. Let's see how effective they are now.
Joining me now is CNN national security analyst Alex Plitzis. Alex, let's start right where Wolf left off. Explosions over Bahrain. The Iranians hit the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet Service Center. Explosions over UAE, both Dubai and Abu Dhabi, over Jordan, Kuwait, other states there in the region. Just put into context the scope of the response from the Iranians and what you glean from how they've responded and how quickly.
So it's clear that they were prepared for counterstrikes to a certain extent, given that they reacted fairly quickly in the middle of the night to the strikes, because...
Well, I mean, they had a warning. Trump put a 2-week deadline on them. He said 14 to 10 days, 10 to 14 days, man. It's like, of course they were going to retaliate rather quickly, man. Trump told him, hey, man, you got this deadline to come to the table or shit's about to start blowing up over there. And here we are. I believe the deadline was what, Friday? Wasn't the deadline Friday? They said it might come Sunday, and shit, last night it gets cracking. It's crazy.
In the 12-day war, they took a little bit of time to respond as they regained command and control and determined what assets that they had left. And they took 5 days to respond after Qasem Soleimani was assassinated. So this is clear that there had been some pre-planning that was done. And as you mentioned, the countries that were attacked here specifically are where we have specific bases. So in Kuwait, we have Ali Al Salim Air Force Base. In the UAE, we have Al Dhafra Air Base, about 20 miles south of Abu Dhabi. In Bahrain, we have the 5th Fleet that's based out of there. In Doha, we happen to have nearby Al Udeid Air Force Base is not only the Air Force Base, but also the forward headquarters for U.S. Central Command. So all of those locations are strategic U.S. military bases in the region.
I'm joined now by Daniel Shapiro. He's the former U.S. ambassador to Israel. Ambassador Shapiro, thanks so much for joining us. I understand you are now in a shelter in Tel Aviv.
All right, Chad, do you support this war in the Middle East right now, Chad? Press 1 if you do, press 2 if you do not. And Jason, somebody catch Jason up, Chad. If people come in here and they trying to catch up, mods and chat, catch people up for me, man, so we don't have to keep, doing the whole rundown and run around, man. Double tap the screen, shut live out. We're 25 subs away from the next sub goal.
Tel Aviv, well, what caused you and your associates to go to this shelter? What happened?
Thanks for having me, Wolf. So early this morning, for the first time, a siren sounded, and where I was staying, we all rushed to a shelter. That's now happened about 7 or 8 times today here in central Israel. The last one, which just occurred a few moments ago, was followed by a series of booms. Sometimes which is an interception of an incoming missile. And earlier in the day, we heard 1 or 2 of such booms. But in the last round, we heard over 2 dozen. So it seems that the Iranians have changed their tactics as the day has gone on, from individual or small numbers of missile attacks.
I also seen the Taliban in Pakistan, I believe, had some stuff going on, and they're doing complete suicide bombings, Chad. I'm talking like walking up over there. I believe one guy went over there and he blew himself up, and he unalived like 4 officers with him and injured like three civilians, man. So it's going on right now, Chad. It's really going on. Thank you, Lori, for the super chat. Lori says best damn channel on YouTube. I know that's right, Lori. Y'all give Lori some likes on that super chat, and be sure to double tap the screen or go to the top of your screen and hit that thumbs up, man. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Thank you, Lori.
So at least the last one being a larger salvo, which they've used in the past to try to saturate and penetrate Israeli air defenses.
Do you get a sense that the Iranians and their missile attacks, their drone attacks, are going after specific Israeli military targets, or just launching them to kill people and destroy as much as possible?
It's both.
It's impossible for me to know from the places I've been able to.
Let's be honest, man. They hit a damn military base. They hit a hotel in Qatar. It's probably a mix of both. Yes, they have some damn targets that they for sure want to hit, and then they just want to make some people scared, you know, and mess some shit up as well. Yeah, both.
To be today exactly what they're targeting. In the past, they have put a lot of emphasis on military targets, intelligence targets, but some civilian targets. There are still buildings destroyed in central Tel Aviv from the war last June. So, and because Israel is a small country and a lot of civilian population lives alongside various other installations.
What size is Israel? Didn't they say it's about the size of what state? They compare it to a state over here in like is it New Jersey?
And these missiles are not that accurate. It's entirely possible that they could shoot for a security target and hit an apartment building or a neighborhood. So they're probably going to cause as much damage as they can, given the pressure they're under from combined U.S. and Israeli strikes that the president announced this morning.
Yeah, clearly a lot of targets for the Iranians in the Tel Aviv area, and good luck over there. Just stay safe. What do you think regime change in Iran potentially could look like? Do you see a clear path to who might actually take over if there is regime change?
I think this is one of the big question marks hanging over what the president announced last night.
No, the biggest question mark, are they going to install someone to take over Iran, or is it going to be an actual free-for-all? Are the people of Iran actually going to choose their leader like in Nepal? Remember in Nepal, Gen Z overthrew their government and they got on Discord and held an election and elected that first woman president, man. And I believe she's still leading the damn country, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go check in on it. But are they going to let some shit like that go on? Or are they just going to install somebody? That's what I want to know, man.
First of all, I think many Americans probably woke up this morning surprised to discover that we're at war in the Middle East, something the president said he was going to try to avoid. And he really didn't do very much to prepare the public or discuss with the public what his strategy was, what the goal is, why it was imminent, and why it was necessary to take this action now. He mentioned what we know very well about this terrible Iranian regime. It's a nuclear program, ballistic missile program, its abuse of its own people, and its sponsorship of terrorism. But why now? And it was surprising to me that he laid the predicate that the goal of this is regime change, because that is not something that can be done just by airstrikes. What he said, and he's probably right about this, is that only the Iranian people on the ground are going to be able to overthrow the regime and replace it with something else. But replace it with what? Most intelligence experts who you consult with suggest the most likely near-term replacement for the current regime is a military dictatorship under the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. Beyond that, it's a big question mark whether there is a sufficiently consolidated opposition, whether it could be done peacefully or democratically, whether different splinter groups, ethnic or regional splinter groups, might try to break away from the main state. So it could be a very chaotic situation, even if.
Yes, this is going to destabilize the fucking region. You're talking about a military dictatorship. Yes, that's the most logical, likely solution. But let's be fucking honest. There's still gonna be some damn loyalists over there to who? The fucking Ayatollah, man. And that's gonna be, man, this shit's gonna be bad. This shit's gonna be ongoing, bro.
The president's goal of regime change is successful.
This shit's gonna be bad, bro. I ain't gonna watch it. Ayatollah on the ground right now. They already attacked his resident.
Hello, I'm Marianne Mashiri. You're watching BBC News with live coverage of our breaking news this hour. The United States and Israel have launched airstrikes across Iran. President Trump says the US and Israel have launched what he called major combat operations. Mr. Trump says the objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime. He says Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, and he accuses the Republic of trying to rebuild its nuclear program. The president has also said there may be American casualties as a result of this operation, which has been dubbed Epic Fury by the Pentagon. The retaliation has started from Iran. Bahrain says the US base there has come under attack. Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Iraq and Saudi Arabia have also had missiles fired into their countries.
So that's what's going on right now. Y'all hear what she said. They're gonna got mittens. So now it's a lot of countries involved, man. depending on how they take it and how they respond, is it just some casual fallout? Your basketball fell in my backyard, or are they gonna take it seriously? Like, hey, some of our fucking people died. Bro.
As a result of this operation, which has been dubbed Epic Fury by the Pentagon. The retaliation has started from Iran. Bahrain says the US base there has come under attack. Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, Iraq and Saudi Arabia have also had missiles fired into their countries. We're getting reports of one person killed in the United Arab Emirates and 4 people in Syria from missile debris. In a video statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said the attack is to remove an existential threat to his country. We've been hearing air raid sirens and explosions across Israeli cities. Israel's defence minister has declared a special and permanent state of emergency. They've closed the country's airspace, all schools are shut, and access to holy sites have also been shut today. Israeli defence forces say dozens of missiles are being fired into the country. 70,000 reservists have been called up. Meanwhile, in Iran, the strikes are across multiple locations. Media reports say blasts have been heard in Esfahan, Karaj, Kermanshah, Qom and the port city of Bushehr. Mehrabad Airport, just outside Tehran, has come under attack. We're getting pictures of large-scale bombing in Tehran as well. Iranian media, as we've reported, say up to 40 people have been killed at a primary school in the south of the country. An official has told the Reuters news agency that Tehran's retaliation and response will be crushing. Meanwhile, Israeli officials say Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei and Iran's President Pezeshkian have been targeted. 7 missiles have hit the presidential palace, and there have been strikes around the Supreme Leader's compound. Well, the attack follows weeks of tension in the region, with US forces massing around Iran. Joe Inwood now reports on the latest developments so far.
Yeah, Chad, that's a lot going on, Chad. I didn't know it was going on like that. I knew it was some back and forth going on, but it's getting seriously, man. It's getting serious over there. I see a lot of y'all saying that this is gonna be over quickly, and I pray to God it is, man, because if not, this shit fallout can be immense. Without a clear path forward for a new leadership over there, they're talking about dictator, military leadership. They got the other guy that, got exiled from the country. He's trying to lay claim to some shit. It might go on over here, Chad. I want to know, Chad, do y'all support this in Iran? Yes or no? Do y'all support this in Iran? And we're 25 subscribers away from the next goal. We're going to watch the rest of this clip, and then we're going to hear from the former prime minister, man, the former Iranian foreign minister, I mean.
After weeks of build-up, weeks of threats, this morning the US and Israel left no room for doubt. They want to topple the Iranian regime. Footage is still emerging amidst an internet blackout, but it's clear that a vast air campaign is being carried out right across the country.
The United States military is undertaking a massive and ongoing operation to prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship from threatening America and our core national security interests. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated.
So what and who is the US going to target? Well, Iran's ballistic missiles will be top of any list, an attempt to blunt their ability to respond. Iran's navy, seen here on exercise last week, will also be seen as a soft target. The key question, will they kill the president, Masoud Pezeshkian, or the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei? Iran promised to respond with crushing force.
Shit, don't they got to get both of them up out of here, Chad? Either they have to flee or they got to... You know what I'm saying, Chad? Is that not how new leadership comes? If they got a president here and a Ayatollah here, somebody got to go, or somebody got to take a damn vacation, man. If they want to overthrow the government, install new leadership, and might be their only chance in generations, what are we talking about?
Within an hour of the strikes, air raid sirens could be heard over Israel. the country's Iron Dome missile defences already in action. The Prime Minister warned his people there would be a price to pay.
Challenging days await us. Every military action involves risk, but the risk of doing nothing is greater. Because if we do not act, we will get a nuclear Iran.
You said, host, we are all powerless. We kind of have to trust our government right now. What the fuck do we do? Prepare, man. Get your shit together, man. Have you some canned goods and an escape route, a power generator, and get ready to take your ass to the polls, man. Whichever way you may lean, whichever way you may want to vote, man, you need to survive and get your ass to the polls, man, and thrive. That's what we got to do, man. That's what we can do. We are not powerless. That's one thing we are not, is powerless. Because we have to be proactive, man, instead of reactive. We got to get our shit together, man. Can you survive 10 days without darkness? Some shit get to blowing up over here and boom, boom, buildings falling and shit. Are you okay? Is your family going to be okay? That's where we got to be with this shit, honestly.
An Iran with tens of thousands of ballistic missiles.
Some of those ballistic missiles have already been fired in response. The US has a vast military footprint across the Middle East. Ya Allah! And already impacts have been seen at the US naval base in Bahrain, headquarters of the Fifth Fleet. Qatar hosts the Al Udeid air base. The last time Iran struck, it was telegraphed in advance and largely performative. Not this time. There have also been reports of drones being intercepted over Iraq. Knowing exactly what is happening inside Iran is difficult at this point, with most communications down. But state TV broadcast this statement.
According to the information obtained from these two corrupt regimes, their operations in Tehran and other cities will continue. Therefore, as much as possible while maintaining calm, travel to other cities to stay safe from the evils of these two regimes.
In January, when widespread street protests gripped the country, President Trump promised help was on its way before taking...
You said people need to pay attention and start asking questions. I had a bunch of good questions dropped in my Discord. They said these are the questions we should be asking ourselves. What administration tell us 1 year ago, intelligence-wise, about their nuclear capabilities? What has changed since then? Is Iran an imminent threat to the United States? Why would the administration wait to launch strikes until months after watching Iran slaughter around 30,000 Iranians who could have prosecuted the war on the ground and with the U.S. strikes? Do you think the U.S. has sufficient strategic arms stockpile of the deployed weapons and platforms to respond to a military threat from Russia or China now? Is this going to destabilize the region? What will the impact be on fuel prices? Do you support this war? Did the Trump administration seek the appropriate authority of prosecuting this war? So I've answered quite a few of those questions in my perspective. Did the Trump administration seek appropriate authority for prosecuting this war? No, but they're doing it off the basis of an imminent threat. So that's going to lead us back to the previous question. Is Iran an imminent threat? It depends. They're saying by quote unquote 2035 they could be. So that's a debate right there. What did the administration tell us 1 year ago? That they had pushed it back 20 years. They had completely obliterated. It was over with. What has changed? Well, we found out that Iran still has the centrifuges. There you go, Tony, centrifuges. And they don't want to give those up. So that's what has changed. Why would the administration wait to launch strikes after waiting months after the 30,000 Iranians would have been slaughtered? I have that question as well, but I think they were trying to get it, if we're going to look at it just from the outside, what seems to be that they were trying to do it a diplomatic way. Hey, put down your guns, whatever. In the meantime, 30,000 Iranians were slaughtered that could have prosecuted the war on the ground. Do I think the U.S. has sufficient strategic arms stockpile of the deployed weapons and platforms needed to respond to a military threat from Russia and China now? Yes, I definitely do believe we do have enough stockpile. Is this going to destabilize the region? Most definitely that is going to destabilize the region. What will be the impact on fuel prices? Fuel is already surging. If oil gets to $80 a barrel, we're looking at $3 gas. They're saying that a prolonged conflict right here we could see oil prices surge 20%. to around $100. So we might be looking at $4 gas. And do I support this war? I mean, I'd rather mind my fucking business, in all honesty.
Taking no immediate action. In today's speech, he said that help had finally arrived.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond.
Iran now faces the biggest military build-up in the Middle East for more than 20 years, and a US administration which has explicitly called for its destruction. It seems likely this conflict will escalate in dangerous and unpredictable ways. Joe Inwood, BBC News.
Well, let's cross live now and speak to our North America correspondent, Helena Humphrey, who is in Washington for us. Helena, just bring us up to date with reaction from Washington so far.
Well, a range of reaction now coming in, Mariam, as you would expect, as lawmakers and, of course, the American public wake up to the news of these strikes. Let me just run you through what some of the lawmakers have had to say, starting off with Lindsey Graham. He is a Republican senator. He is an ally of Donald Trump. And essentially his message, which he's posted on X, is that he believes that this is an opportunity to reshape the Middle East. He says that he expects this campaign to be a violent one, but ultimately he expects it to be successful. You can compare and contrast that with what we've heard from another Republican, a Congressman Thomas Massey, who is a critic of Donald Trump. And he has called this an act of war unauthorized by Congress. Certainly there had not been a congressional vote on any of these strikes. Just some other reaction to bring you now. Ro Khanna, he is a Democratic lawmaker, and he has called for a vote on Monday. He said that lawmakers must come to Washington. They must vote on this. They must put their names on the records with regards to where they stand on these strikes. And then we've also heard from the vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, that is Mark Warner. And essentially what his message has been in a statement is he says that we have heard claims of urgency of American intelligence before, clearly referencing previous wars, Iraq, for example, being one of them, and saying that the president must answer questions with regards to the objective here. Basically saying if President Trump can come out and put a video on his social media platform, an 8-minute video in which he has warned that there could be American casualties, that justification needs to be there. Now, certainly we know that
That is a big one. Since Trump came out and said there could be American casualties, should he have to get congressional approval now? It was an imminent threat, strikes. Now he's came out and actually issued an official statement saying that there may be loss of American life. Should he get congressional approval now? Yes or no, chat? Double tap the screen, shut the live out, chat. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal, man. If you subscribe to the channel, let me know. I'll give you a shout out. Also, the like button is at the top of the screen, the little thumb, or you can double tap your screen, chat. Let's get into it. We're gonna hear from the former Iranian foreign minister after this.
Donald Trump has spoken not just about a failure of a nuclear deal, but he has also spoken about ending what he calls a campaign of bloodshed against Americans. But in terms of that objective, he also spoke to the Iranian people, didn't he? He said, stay inside for the time being, but when it is safe to do so, come out, rise up, topple the Iranian regime. And I think, the greater backdrop to all of this is what we had seen in recent weeks when we had seen that brutal crackdown on protesters in Iran. And Donald Trump had said to them, help is on the way, prompting many people to ask in recent weeks, well, where is that help? Donald Trump clearly there speaking to the Iranians as well, saying this will be your opportunity. Of course, what comes of that will be a question that we will see unfold in the days ahead.
And of course, let's not forget, Helena, that in the last few days, even longer than that, the US has been negotiating through Oman.
Yeah, they asked Trump, they said there's been rumbling that you're going to declare a national emergency around midterms. And they were like, Trump said, who told you that? They said, Trump said, who told you that? That man is wild for that one, Jay. He didn't say what. He didn't say no. He said, who told you that?
Geneva with the Iranians, and like back in June 2025 when there were mid-negotiations and there was an attack on Iran, this has happened mid-negotiations. It makes one wonder whether negotiating with President Trump is actually a dangerous thing to do.
Well, certainly what we see with Donald Trump is this kind of strategic ambiguity, and of course here in Washington, as correspondents, we've been trying to read the tea leaves, ask questions of the administration about whether a strike is likely. And Donald Trump has, often said, well, I'm not happy with the Iranians, but I haven't made my mind up yet, is what he said on Friday. But the backdrop to all of this had been this incredibly large-scale military build-up, which we had seen in the Gulf as, some kind of leverage.
Hey, chat, y'all welcome Too Strong as the newest member to the Mod Squad, man. Too Strong been showing up every single stream, staying the whole stream on all of the channels for shit since he came around. Let's be honest. I think I met Too Strong on the backup channel, honestly, man. Y'all give Too Strong some flames in the comments, man. The newest member of the Mod Squad, man. Best mods on YouTube.
Would think, but at the same time hearing that there would be technical talks taking place at the Atomic Agency, the UN's Atomic Agency in Vienna next week. I mean, whether that goes ahead, of course, is a huge question right now. But, it is definitely difficult to assess the actions of this administration. They engage in talks, and then, of course, we have seen this strike. And, of course, as you point out, in a similar way that we had seen with Operation Midnight Hammer, which happened in June of last year. I think there is certainly a distinction here. Operation Midnight Hammer, as we know, targeted nuclear facilities. This seems far more broad in terms of where these strikes are reaching across the country. And then also with regards to that aim of potentially toppling the regime. And I think the questions that are being posed here very legitimately are about the risks of what comes next, particularly when you look at, Pastor's prologue, previous cases like Libya and Iraq. Now, of course.
All right, let's get into the Iranian.
Interrupt you very briefly while you've been introducing Jules Durkin. They're telling us that right now we have a guest from Iran. Iran's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Abbas Araghchi, is joining us now from Tehran.
Oh shit, he's not the former nothing. He is Iran's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Yeah, how do you feel, nigga?
Minister Araghchi, we appreciate your making time to speak to us right now. We have a series of questions. We know that you are one of the few in that country who have the access to communicate outside of a country where there is a large blackout of communications at this time. First and foremost, our question to you, sir, is can you give us a better understanding of the situation on the ground there, the impacts that have taken place, and separately, can you confirm to us that the Ayatollah and the president are both still alive?
Well, thank you for having me. Well, the situation on the ground
Shout out to Sonny, man.
Quite, I cannot say normal, but the life is going on. Everything is under control. I think Americans and Israelis have failed to, access to hit their targets, and now everything is under control. And we almost in less than 2 hours we were able to start retaliation by attacking American bases and some targets in Israel by our missiles. Almost all officials are safe and sound and alive. We may have lost 1 or 2 commanders, but that is not a big problem. We are actually managing it. We are handling the situation. And I was in contact with, my colleagues in the Persian Gulf, and I explained for them that, we have no intention to attack them, but we are actually attacking the American bases in the act of self-defense. We cannot just sit and watch they are attacking us.
Okay, so he said, this is very important right here, Chad.
Contact with, my colleagues in the Persian Gulf.
Okay, so he's saying that those countries where the missiles have been landing inside of the Persian Gulf, he's contacted his colleagues like, hey, look, man, this not for y'all, man. This not for y'all. America got bases over there, man. We attacking the bases, man. Tell your people to get the hell out the way, man. Move around and shit. This not for y'all.
And I explained for them that, you know, we have.
But how long does that hold, Chad? How long does that hold? I don't know if a country's just gonna let them do prolonged damn bombing on their soil, regardless of what they're hitting. I mean, maybe once, twice, man, but some just constant. Hey, man, you chill the fuck out, man.
No intention to attack them, but we are actually attacking the American bases in the act of self-defense. We cannot just sit and watch they are attacking us and we don't, you know, respond simply because their bases are in a friendly neighbor country. So I explained for them, and I hope that they understand this situation. Another point I have to mention is, I don't know why the U.S. administration insists to start a negotiation and then in the middle of negotiation attack, you know, the other party. Today happened exactly what last June happened. We were in the middle of negotiations, and you know, and it was interesting that this time we made a big progress. Last 2 days ago, and on Thursday, we had a very good meeting in.
Y'all remember last year when they were getting ready to do that? They struck the Qatari base, man. They struck all of those people going into that damn meeting, I believe, in Qatar, and they killed like 25 of them. Y'all don't remember that when they killed like 25 of the negotiators, man? People that was going over there negotiating, man.
Geneva, together with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. And we were able to address serious questions related to Iran's nuclear program. We obviously have differences, but we resolved some of those differences, and we decided to continue in order to resolve the rest of questions. And we actually instructed the technical team to go to Vienna and have a meeting with the IAEA. In order to find technical solution for the problems we are facing in the negotiation. And everybody was happy at the end of those negotiations. As you saw, His Excellency the Foreign Minister of Oman, who is mediating between us, he concluded by hosting it.
I'm finna have to hold on. Gotta get Eric to comment the hell up out of here. Eric, you scaring people,
tweet
man.
Saying that today we made significant progress. And before he posted his tweet, he consulted with both delegations and both were happy. So I don't know why, while we were progressing in our talks and we had made good, you know, achievements and a deal was at our reach, why they decided to attack us. Perhaps, you know, it was others who dragged the United States for their own benefits into this, you know, conflict. It's really pity. It's very unfortunate. And yes.
Mr. Arachi, I appreciate your comments there, and we do have a series of other questions I want to ask you. But just for clarity for our audience right now, can you confirm with specificity that the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is alive, and separately that the Iranian president is alive right now following these American and Israeli strikes?
Here we go.
As far as I know, yes, they are alive. And
as far as I know, man, I hate that shit, man. Give us an answer, man. I don't want him to get up there and be like, man, he's alive, man, or he's dead, man. We need a definitive answer, man. As far as I know, he's alive and shit, man. I mean, nah, we need real shit, man. You talking about, dude? We need to know, man. Is he underground in that bunker, man? I believe he's underground. They already blew his house up. They blew his damn house up. So shit, he's underground somewhere. He's in a bunker.
And the head of judiciary as well, the head of the Speaker of Parliament as well, all high-ranking officials are alive, and the Secretary of the National Security Council. So everybody is now in its position, and we are handling this situation, and everything is fine.
Sir, do you believe that you were targeted as part of these?
Now you lying. Everything is not fine, man. Like, what? What do you mean everything is fine, man? It's fucking bombs going off everywhere, dude. Well, what are we talking about? Everything's fine.
Strikes.
You mean me?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. They have targeted everybody. You know, just now I saw the footages of their attack to a girl school. in which, in the city of Minab, in the southern part of Iran, so 57 girls were killed by their strike. So when they strike a school, so it is, they can also,
Who struck a school?
hit others easily. This attack was unprovoked, illegal, and absolutely illegitimate, and against the international law, and should be condemned. That is obvious.
You said that Iran is prepared to take self-defense towards these actions. What would that entail?
Well, we are facing an act of aggression, and obviously we have every right to defend ourselves. So what we are doing is act of self-defense, which is absolutely legal and legitimate. So, and we think that we are fully prepared for that, even more prepared than previous time, the 12-day war. And I believe we managed this. We know very well how to defend ourselves. We learned lots of lessons from the previous war, and we will certainly teach the aggressors a lesson they deserve.
Mr. Arachi, if I may ask you very quickly right now, we know that Iran, via the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard, via its proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthi rebels in Yemen, has carried out attacks on Americans, on others throughout that region. Iran insists that its nuclear program has never been with the desire to create nuclear weapons. But my question to you is, sir, why should the United States and why should the rest of the world trust Iran when it says its efforts to create a nuclear program are only for civilian use and not to continue to carry out harm against Western and American interests?
Well, first of all, we don't have proxies. There are certain groups who are fighting for a just cause, and we support them.
So that would make them a proxy, correct, sir?
Yeah. But they are not receiving orders from us. They are independent groups, but we support them, and we support them in their fight for the right of self-determination or to free their land from occupation, whatever. But for the time being, we don't need anybody for our defense. We are capable enough to defend ourselves, and we will do that, and we don't need the help of anybody. On our nuclear program, I think there are every reason that Iran does not want nuclear weapon. And the whole world has tested us when in 2015, we signed a deal and we announced very clearly that Iran would never seek, develop or acquire nuclear weapons. And that was a permanent commitment in 2015 deal. I know that President Trump doesn't like that deal, but at least we proved our goodwill, and we proved that we are not seeking nuclear weapons. And it was not Iran who withdrew from that deal, it was the US. And still in 2025, when the US offered us negotiation to find a solution for Iran's nuclear program, again, we accepted. We entered into negotiation in good faith. At least 3 times we came to a good conclusion, but my interlocutor in the other side couldn't sell it in Washington. Then they suddenly attacked us. Again, this time, we entered into negotiation with the help of our Omani friends and others. Everybody supported those negotiations. And, we made significant progress this time, and then they attacked us. So it is us who have.
Chat, do y'all believe him? Chat, yes or no in the chat. Do y'all believe him? We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Chat, go hit the like button at the top of the screen or double tap your screen. I'm giving shout outs to all new subscribers. Just let me know you subscribe and don't lie. Don't lie.
Have negative, bitter experiences from talking to the United States. We have never wanted nuclear weapon. There is both religious convictions by us, the verdict by the Supreme Leader, who considered all these weapons as inhumane, and against the Islamic teachings. At the same time, they have no place in our security doctrine, and I can explain. But I would like to reaffirm once again that we have proved our goodwill. We negotiated with E3 and then E3 plus 3 or P5 plus 1, and we concluded a deal the whole world celebrated, and we remain committed to that deal in 2015. But it was the US who withdrew, not us. And again, the experiences of last year and this year. So I think the one who should prove its good faith, its goodwill is the United States, not Iran.
Sir, as many Americans are waking up this morning and seeing images of Israel and other nations try to defend itself, what is your message to the American people about how far Iran will go?
Well, how far do y'all think Iran should go? We're not, I know he's about to answer on how far Iran will go, but honestly, Chad, give me your honest answers on how far you think Iran should go. Do you think they should hang it up early? Do you think they should keep fighting? What do you guys think? I don't know if everybody's in here American. Matter of fact, let me know where you're from and what time it is, Chad. Shout out your city, shout out your state, shout out your region, man. Let me know where everybody's from in here and what time it is, what you got going on, man. How far do y'all think this should go?
We have no limit to defend ourselves.
Does that include attacking Americans?
Well, we are attacking the American military build-up in our region. We are not attacking Americans in their land. Americans are attacking our people in our cities. But this is not what we are going to do. We are attacking the Americans' bases, military bases in the region, and military installations and facilities. And this is only as an act of self-defense. We are not the one who started this aggression. It was the United States and Israel who started this aggression. So there is no limit for us to defend ourselves. But once the aggression is stopped, we would also stop our self-defense. This is quite obvious and quite.
I didn't think about it like that, Chad. I'm damn Americanized, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. I might be a little fucked up, Chad. I see everybody shouting out. Shout out Antarctica. Shout out New Jersey. Shout out East Coast. Shout out to Cincinnati, man. Shout out to everybody in here. But I might be a little messed up, Chad, because the way he just broke that down, like, look, man, we're not attacking U.S. citizens on U.S. soil, man. The U.S. is attacking our people on our soil, man. Well, damn. I never thought about it like that, Chad. I might be a little, you know what I mean?
Quite natural.
Mr. Arachi, in recent weeks, we saw a crackdown by the Iranian regime on civilian protesters throughout that country. Depending on where you receive your information, hundreds or even thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of Iranian people were killed. In this moment, for the Iranian people, will you commit that Iran will not crack down, will not attack, maim, or kill?
Shout out to Florida, Cali, man. Shout out to Virginia. Shout out to South San Fran and the Midwest, man. Shout out Cincinnati. Listen, Chad, when they say that they're attacking, we're attacking Iranians on Iranian soil, my first thought was, but y'all just killed 32,000 of your own citizens, right? It might be their business, Chad. That might just be their business, Chad. It's like, I don't know, Chad. I might be a little fucked up, bro. I might be a little fucked up, Chad. I don't know, man. At least I can admit it.
Kill the people of Iran if they choose to protest peacefully against their government?
Well, I have to correct your disinformation. We didn't crack down the protesters. We cracked down a terrorist operation. And from 28 December to 7 January, we had peaceful protests in our streets, and that was absolutely tolerated. Even the government decided to engage with the leaders of those protests to find a solution for the problems they have faced, and everything was peaceful and nobody was killed. But on 8 January to 10, it was totally a different story. Armed elements added to those protests. They came from outside. They received instructions from outside, specifically from Mossad and Israelis. and they started shooting at our police and security forces. So it was completely a different story, a terrorist operation, and we had no way but to crack it down.
So for clarity, you're saying that those who were killed were exclusively...
Now I understand that this is going back to holy wars and all of this shit's going on, all of that Middle East shit, man. Borders, all borders are made through bloodshed and text, whether it's ideology text or religious text. All borders are created through, other than the natural borders like the damn water and shit, of course. But all borders are created through bloodshed and text. So I know this has been going on a long time. What I'm speaking about, I tell y'all, I just went on a whole rant about how we should mind our fucking business. I don't care what Iran looked like in 1970 and shit. You know, I just don't. That's just me. But when it comes to today, I just didn't realize it. Like, damn, schools are shut down, bombs are flying every fucking where, and kids and shit are scared over there, bruh. Like it's fucking crazy, man. I wasn't empathetic at all to the situation, and I might be a little fucked up for that. Now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of like, damn, man, motherfuckers is just trying to wake up and go to school and, you know, get an education or pay bills and take care of some fucking kids. But because of their government, some shit outside of their control, it's bombs going off everywhere and shit, man. What?
Foreign agents, none of them, is your claim, were Iranians?
Let me to explain. Those elements entered into the demonstrations and protests, and they started shooting at our police forces, and then they started shooting at people, and it was very strange. And then they started even shooting at the protesters. Why? Because they wanted to increase the number of killings, because the President of the United States had said that if there are killings, I will come to rescue. So in order to drag him into a war with Iran, they started shooting at people. So they increased the number of, in order to increase the number of deaths. And the total number was, as we have said, 3,117. And the list of all victims have been already published by us. About 2,500 of which are considered by us as martyrs.
What's so classified?
Ordinary people who were killed by these terrorist elements. 200 police forces. What do you do in the United States if somebody shoot at your police? You would certainly react very harshly. And this is what we did.
So we hear him talking about what do you do as Americans if somebody shoot at your police, right? Trump just told all law enforcement over there to lay down their arms, man. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to realize. Now, think about being a fucking Iranian law enforcement officer, man, just trying to make your damn living, bruh. Feed your kids and shit, put them off to school, you know, the regular shit parents try to do in this world, right? Now you get a fucking message scrolling across your screen. The president of the most dominant military force in the world just told you specifically not to go to work and to lay down your fucking arms, or it's gonna get bad for you. And you know, if you don't carry your ass to work, if you lay down your arms, not only are you not gonna get a paycheck and your fucking kids are gonna be hungry, you're going to be a traitor to the nation. You might not make it through the night. For an average man, that you talking about being stuck between a rock and a hard place, like, damn, what the fuck? What? Excuse my language, Chad. It's the morning show.
And then it was, over in less than in a 2.5 days. So please distinguish and separate between protesters, peaceful protesters in the streets, and then a terrorist operation, which was something else. So we consider those.
Yeah, allegedly Bibi fled. They were tracking his plane earlier. You know they can know what plane Bibi flies in. They got all the planes being tracked and shit on some of these channels. That's just what they do. And yeah, they were tracking I believe Bibi's jet, and it looked like he was getting up out of there, man. Allegedly.
As a plot by Israelis in the continuation of 12-day war. So why they did it? Because last time in the war, in 12-day war, they saw that people came to the streets in support of the Islamic Republic. there was a, you know,
Corey World, you said he gave them an opportunity to live. I would lay down my arms. Corey World, the moment you lay down your arms in Iran, you become a traitor. Do you not hear they just killed 32,000 people in the street, according to Bulletproof? Man, you will die immediately. Man, as soon as your ass don't show up to work, they come and looking for you, Corey. Why Corey World miss his shift, man? Shit going on right now. Is he becoming a traitor? You might not make it. You might not make it to dusk. I mean, a daylight, man.
a social unity in support of the system. This time they wanted to change the course, so they started with some riots in the streets. They gave you know, weapons to certain elements to come and shoot people. So we would have this chaos, and then attack us. Exactly what is going on right now.
Thank you, Kara.
All of those were very well planned, you know, plot by Israelis and Americans. But we were able to control that, you know, operation, and we are able to defend ourselves this time. And you will see that how we can defend ourselves, and the world would see.
Sir, you heard likely the President of the United States talk about regime change in Iran this morning in his recorded statements. What is your message to the President?
Well, I think this is mission impossible. You know, for regime change, you cannot do regime change while millions of people are supporting these so-called regime. You just look at what happened in the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution. We had altogether about 30 million people in the streets in all cities of Iran in support of the Islamic Republic and in support of the whole system. So you cannot, you know, change this regime because it's you know, it's supported by the people. Yes, there are also people who are complaining, but they are strong support.
Prediction. Regime change doesn't happen. Trump said, listen, what did Trump say? Overthrow your government now might be the only chance you have in generations. That lets me know regime change isn't Trump's goal. It's quote unquote the nuclear program, right? So once we get to a point to where Trump feels comfortable or somebody feels comfortable saying the nuclear program's obliterated, it's over with, chat. It don't matter who's in control over there, man. That's what I was trying to tell someone earlier. I forgot that it's not about the people here, man. It's not about those people over there, man. This shit is a byproduct, man. That shit's just going on at the same time. It's a window for this type shit. They're not finna stay over there and fight for regime change in Iran. They're gonna stay over there until they feel comfortable enough saying that this fucking nuclear program's obliterated again.
Supporters of the regime, of the system at the same time. And then we have a very well-established political structure, and they have tried regime change. This is not the first time that they want to do regime change. They have tried it in the past. Look, in the past 47 years, the United States has tried everything from coup, from sanctions, 8 years of war by Saddam Hussein, supported by the United States and many others, and then, you know, 12-day war, snapback, you know, in the Security Council, and you know, terrorist operations. They have tried everything, and all of them failed. And I don't know why they don't, you know, understand their failures. So if they want to repeat a failed experience, they won't get any better result.
Then, sir, what is your message to the Iranian people? We understand that you describe the president's call for regime change as mission impossible. What is your message to the people of Iran right now? In your words, everything is under control, but based on what the world is seeing, there appears to be smoke coming up from a variety of different sites throughout Tehran. There appears to be some panic and real concern there. What do you tell the people of that country about the state of its government and the state of Iran broadly?
Well, I said everything is under control. I didn't say that there is no war. Of course there is war. Of course there is panic. Of course there are attacks to different buildings. Of course, about 60 students, girl students, have been killed in one school. Of course there are those things. But
60 students.
my message to my own people is that we are a great nation with a great civilization. We have lasted for thousands of years, and we know how to defend ourselves. We know how to deal with our enemies, and we will survive when we become more stronger out of this.
So when you hear the president say to the people of Iran, your freedom is your own, rise up, the United States will be with you, you say to them, that's a hollow gesture?
Isn't that the intervention in the, internal affairs of another country? If we had done so, what have you said? So the president of another country, no matter how powerful, has no right to decide for the people of another country, to order the people of another country what to do and what not to do. And this is what he did, by the way, in those terrorist operations. He was the one who set fires in the governmental buildings. Do this, do that, and now he's asking people to rise against their government. Has he any right to do that? I don't think so.
Sir, are there any back channel talks, any communications that are taking place right now, or are those done? And separately, can this be de-escalated, and how?
Well, there is no communication right now, but if Americans want to talk.
He's saying there's no communications right now. What's going on, chat? There's no communications. I just got the phone numbers, the pinned comment. If y'all want to call in, give your thoughts and opinions, or ask me any questions. Now is your time. We'll come back tonight, have this discussion, and we'll probably do a panel. But this morning we're gonna do call-ins, man. The phone number is pinned if you want to call in.
To us, they know how they can contact me. We are certainly interested for de-escalation.
Y'all want to call Dorsey? Y'all want to crack it off calling Dorsey or what?
This is not our war. This is an imposed war against us. This is a war of choice by the United States, and they have to pay for that. And they do. But as far as we are concerned, we don't want war. We don't want escalation in our region. We are ready for de-escalation, but the aggression should be stopped first. The attacks should be stopped first, and then there is the possibility to talk, and we can consider that. I'm not promising anything because our people are very angry right now. So if the war is stopped, if the aggression is stopped, then we will see how we can, work for de-escalation.
Sir, just days ago, you had said.
All right, Dorsey might still be asleep, y'all. It's a little early. Yeah, Top Cat and Dorsey might be asleep.
That there had been a semblance of an agreement between the U.S. and Iran, and a way to avoid a war, if you will. What specific concessions was Iran not
Shell.
willing
I don't know
to
which
give
one
up?
of these Shell number on here.
Well, on our nuclear program, we made it clear for the American
Dorsey
team
and Top Cat
that we are prepared to do everything in order to prove that our nuclear program is peaceful and would remain peaceful forever. What we are not prepared for is to give up our right. We are not giving up our right, including for enrichment, but we are ready to build confidence on our nuclear program, to make sure that our program is peaceful and would remain peaceful.
Dorsey, what's going on, man? Dorsey.
Hello?
What's going on, Dorsey?
Can they hear
We live.
me?
Yeah, we
Hello?
can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. You live. Hold on, Dorsey might not can hear me. Hold on, microphone. Hold on. Dorsey. Dorsey. Man, I know y'all can hear me. Dorsey can't hear me. That shit crazy. Ain't no way. I got my audio settings messed up. Hold on. Microphone. Let's call this nigga Dorsey back, man. I don't know, man. This is my first time trying to call somebody on the mic. Dorsey can't hear me. I don't know why Dorsey can't hear me.
Hello?
Dorsey.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Damn,
Can you
man.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, well, I can hear you. So let me go back
Dorsey. Dorsey. Damn, man. I don't know how to get it on. I guess Dorsey can't hear me, Chad. I don't know, man. I guess I have to figure this shit out in a minute, man. I don't know. I ain't never used this. Microphone setup. Why the fuck I can't hear Dorsey? I'm gonna have to ask my partner. My bad, Chad. I guess we can't do call-ins this morning. My bad, Dorsey. Okay, you can't hear me. We can hear you. The chat. Maybe I could get Dorsey in the Discord. Let's see. Let's see if I can get Dorsey in the Discord, man. Let's see if I can get Dorsey in the Discord right quick. Chat. Y'all double tap the screen and shut alive, man. Let's see if I can call this nigga. Oh, there it Damn. Yo. Damn, Chad. It's not hearing my voice either. Damn. I ain't click on Dorsey. That shit wasn't detecting my voice either, bro. This shit crazy. Damn. I don't know, Chad. It's a little fucked up right now, man.
Forever. For that reason, for that goal, we offered good concessions to the U.S. team when we met them in last Thursday, 2 days ago. I may go into the details of those concessions in another program, perhaps, in order for the whole world to understand and for Americans to understand that we were progressing. We made significant progress. We agreed to do enrichment only based on our needs, the needs of Iranian people. I can tell you one of our needs. It is your Tehran research reactor. This is a small reactor, by the way, built by Americans before the revolution. And this reactor produces radioisotopes, medicines needed for nearly 2 million Iranians. So how we can give it up, how we can just stop this reactor? So we would continue our program based on our own needs. This is what we can do, and we are prepared to do that. And we can accept, robust verifications and monitoring by the agency, and we can even do some more confidence-building measures in order to, make sure, as I said, that everything would remain peaceful. So I see the possibility to, reach a deal which can guarantee that Iran's program is peaceful. At the same time, sanctions are lifted and economic cooperation can be, started, and we go for peace. And I don't know why the United States, why President Trump just missed that opportunity. Ask the Foreign Minister of Oman how close we were to get a deal.
Mr. Araghchi, if I may, we heard from the president first in his State of the Union address that took place on Tuesday and again this morning in recorded remarks that I'm sure you've heard. The president said, among other things, that Iran has been building missiles that, in his words, could soon reach the American homeland. So as it relates to Iran's ballistic missile capabilities, does Iran now have the capability to reach the U.S. homeland? How far removed is it from that capability?
No, we don't have that capability. We have intentionally kept the range of our missiles below 2,000 kilometers. So we don't have that capability, and we don't want to do that because we don't have any hostility against, the United States people or Europeans or whatsoever. We have built that capability in order to defend ourselves against our enemies. And our missiles proved to be the most reliable means of defense for us. So obviously we cannot compromise on our missiles because our security depends on them. So the more, the US administration, the more Europeans or whoever insists that Iran should disarm itself from those missiles, the more we are convinced that in order to protect ourselves, we need those missiles. So our missiles have defensive nature. Our missiles is only for deterrence and defense. They are not for aggression. And nobody has any record of any aggression by us against our neighbors in the past 200 years.
So for clarity, you said that your missiles cannot reach the United States by design, that you do not want to reach the United States, but you also said it would be necessary as a defensive vehicle that you could if necessary. So to be clear, are you committing that Iran is not and will not build missiles that would have the capability to reach the United States?
I can confirm, yes.
Sir, if that's a red line for you, why is attacking U.S. military bases abroad justified?
But because they are attacking us. They are U.S. military, installations, facilities, bases who are attacking us. We are under attack. Why don't you, recognize this fact? We are under the attack by U.S. forces in the region. So we have every right to defend ourselves. And how to defend ourselves? We attacked, the U.S. bases. This is obvious. This is a very simple fact. And I hope that, and I'm sure that people would understand that. We are not the one who attacked Americans. We are only defending ourselves.
Did these attacks that were carried out by the U.S. and Israel today destroy Iranian missile bases?
Well, I don't think so because, we are firing our missiles almost every hour.
Did it destroy any missile bases there?
Well, I don't know. I have no detailed information yet. But as I see, only 1 hour after the U.S. attacks, we started to launch missiles, to hit targets in Israel and in U.S. bases. That means that our capability is there, and we have enough capability, we have enough strength to continue this as long as needed. I am telling this with confidence. We are more prepared than previous war. Quantity-wise and quality-wise.
Mr. Araghchi, we have heard from many foreign leaders throughout the world, among them from the Kremlin. We have heard from Russia. We are beginning to hear from other nations elsewhere. What, if any, communications has Iran had from some of its allies, many of them viewed as adversaries to the United States around the world, about what they are committed to do at this time?
Well, I had a good conversation with my Russian counterpart. I also talked with my colleagues in the region, with Turkey, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, all those GCC countries. And, my mission is to end the war. This is my mission as foreign minister, to end this unprovoked war against us. And we are in close contact with our friends in Russia and China and others in the region. And I am prepared to.
All right, Sonny. You say you finna run to the store. Well, look, we finna go to the Discord chat. I'm about to end this episode. We're gonna hang out in the Discord. Mods, drop the Discord. The Discord is on my post wall. And yeah, we just gonna hang out in the Discord, have a conversation around this, and we'll be back live tonight. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. We do have the best mods on YouTube. Shout out to our newest mod, Too Strong. And I appreciate everybody for pulling up, rocking with me, chat. See y'all tonight.